So what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another MetaHuman review. Today we're going to be reviewing Locke and Key with my special guest today, Kristi.
Hi there.
So just a brief review. So we're going to talk about what we thought of the show with no spoilers. Then we are going to get into some spoilers, and then we'll kind of just like go into like what we expect from season 2.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. So
Let's do this.
What did you think of the show going into it?
So going into it, I didn't really know what to expect. I love keys. I actually collect keys.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really excited. Magical keys already just sparked my interest.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The concept of like keys having powers is different.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's always things where you obtain something that has magical powers, but it's never been in the context of keys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like magic wands, or like magic hats, you know. So it was different to see magic keys.
Yeah.
So basically, the story of the movie or the show, basically it was a comic book before, written by Joe Hill, which is actually the son of Stephen King.
Yeah, I didn't know that until you told me.
Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't even know Stephen King had a son.
But
apparently he has
anything.
2 boys and a girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
20 kids.
So Joe Hill is an author and writer. He writes actually horror comics.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
same
makes
kind
sense.
of line of work.
Makes
sense.
sense.
Explains a lot.
The comic series is by IDW Publishing, which make also just other comics in general. So basically, the story is these kids witness like a tragic thing that happens with their family. They end up moving to a new house, which was their dad's old house. Do you remember where it takes place by chance? Matheson.
In
That's right.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then as they move in, the younger brother, who is Bodhi, he goes to the well when they first move in, and he hears a voice in the well, and basically the voice tells him that there are these keys in the house that have powers.
Also, too, Bodhi goes in and is just yelling down the well like, "Hello?
Yeah.
Are you my echo?" And he's just fooling around, and then sure enough, he hears yes. Super creepy.
Yeah.
Super creepy. Very.
Because that's when she says, "Did you find the keys yet?"
Yes.
And he's like, "What keys?"
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then that's kind of like where it starts taking off in the story is as he's going around in the house, he starts finding these keys. And he finds out that they actually do different things.
They have all different magical powers depending on which key you find.
So if you watch the trailer of the show, it shows one of the keys was the ghost key, where there's a skeleton on it, and when you unlock the door, walk through the door, you actually become a ghost.
Yes, and it's only one specific door in the house, because some keys work on all doors or all of its kind, but that one is specifically, it has to be that door, you walk through it, and you just
become a ghost. Yeah, that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
And then they also showed the head key, which was the key that was shaped of a head. And what it does is it unlocks your head, and you can actually go inside and view different memories.
Yes. You get to have like a physical version of what's in your brain.
Yeah.
Super strange.
But as the show goes on, you got your normal villain, a lot of twists and turns.
Yes.
A lot of twists and turns.
So
like it kept
many.
me engaged like the whole time. Because it's like, what's happened next? And then it ends, and it's like, man, what happens next?
Yeah, exactly. So I felt like when I first started it, I was thinking, okay, I'm probably not going to get super into this. I just have to see it all the way through. But I finished so much of it in just one day.
Yeah, same here.
I was so hooked. I was like, I have to see the rest. I got to know what happens. I got to know everything.
What was different about this one, too, is that, there's always storytelling. So that's always where people are like, oh, well, there's just a lot of talking. But what I liked their approach with this one is, one, they were finding the keys little by little, so that kept you engaged, and then they would give you hints of like what happened before or like what's gonna happen without like telling you all the way. Like they'll mention it, and then like they won't talk about it anymore until like another episode. So it's like, man, what's going on with that?
Yeah, it'll be like, oh, this happened, but it's not really important, but then it's actually really, really important.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like it'll be important later, so it's like one of those shows where it's like you have to pay attention.
But I think what's also interesting about the storytelling is like you're literally living through these kids. You don't get the rest of the story only as they do. Like,
yeah.
You don't know everything, and you're watching these characters like walk into traps. You are as scared with them.
Yeah, especially when, like, for me, like when they were finding the keys, it's like they don't know what the power is, and then when you find out is like when they find out.
Yes.
So it's like you're excited with them because they figure it out. Like, oh, this does this.
Yes, so exciting, so much fun, so expected of the son of Stephen King.
You know, one thing too was when I was talking to Kristi while we were watching it. Is she actually told me that this is something that she probably wasn't like really that interested in.
Yeah, I mean, anything involving like superpowers and things like that, I mean...
It's something typically you wouldn't watch.
Yeah, I mean, I find it super interesting, and if someone tells me you have to watch it, I'll probably check it out, but nobody I knew had mentioned it. I don't really read a lot of reviews or anything like that, so, you know, I just didn't really hear about it. All I got was the notification on Netflix that was like, oh, Locke and Key is now on Netflix, and then when you brought it up, I was like, oh, you know, might as well watch it.
Yeah.
So glad I did. So good.
So that, I mean, that was different. It's like this series changed a person's mind about like a different type of genre, you know, of shows.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm really glad I watched it.
And it's like even watching it for me is like now I'm curious about the comics.
Yeah.
Because I was actually doing some research on the show, and it's like, I mean, they probably showed us maybe like 6 or 7 keys.
Oh, yeah.
And there's actually like 12 keys in the comics.
That makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
Because there were some that we didn't get to see, right?
Or they didn't even mention. So it's like there's just more.
Oh, man.
I know. It's crazy.
It's exciting, though. So at least there's more to look forward to, assuming that we do get the second and hopefully more seasons.
For sure. So what would you rate the show out of 10?
Oh, I'm bad at rating things.
Okay, so what is like your most favorite movie or show?
That's probably, I really like The Good Place. That's like one that's been like tried and true with me. The Good Place, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, things like that. I like comedy, not really dramas, but a lot of comedy, but you know, plot kind of mixed in there.
So you like good storytelling?
Yeah, I like good storytelling for sure, and I think that on storytelling alone, I would definitely give it like an 8 or a 9.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think the plot was just really interesting.
Yeah, the whole concept of it. Yeah, it keeps you really engaged.
The concept, and there's like just some really cool like wrenches they throw in the gear.
Yeah.
You think you know what's gonna happen, and then you
it's
do
like,
not
no,
at all.
No, it's like it just completely goes the other way.
Extremely.
I think I would go with same with you, about an 8 or 9.
Yeah. Let's say 8.5.
Right. So yeah, 8.5, 8.5. We give it an 8.5. I would totally recommend it to anybody that's like into like magic or like superheroes.
Yeah.
You know, and what's cool about like the characters is that they're just regular humans.
Yes.
They have no powers whatsoever. It's like when they lose a key, like that's it. Yeah, they can't do it no more.
Yeah, there's not really much that makes them stick out from other people. I think the 3 kids, they're just very relatable and really enjoyable to watch. And you probably know people in your life who are exactly like them. Everybody has like either a younger cousin or a younger brother at some point in your life that is very much like Bodhi, just so much energy, so curious and things like that. Whereas like Kinsey was like the personification of me at 15. Yeah.
It's like you can really relate with the characters because they're just normal people.
Yeah, exactly. And then Tyler is the oldest and has the responsibility of like the older brother, but then doesn't want any of that responsibility.
Yeah.
So just really, really well thought out characters, and I think the actors who played them were just
the acting was really good. Yeah, even for like the people that weren't so famous, because there was like the younger brother Bodhi. He was in actually Stephen King's movie It.
Oh,
he was the little brother that died.
I did not watch it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not great with horror.
So it's cool to see him in his dad's movie, and then he's in his son's TV show.
Really cool for him. I mean, probably that kid probably does not realize the gravity of that.
Yeah,
and we'll probably realize it a little bit later, but spectacular. He was such an awesome actor.
But for sure, we would highly recommend the show for sure.
Definitely.
So now we're going to get into the spoilers. Yes. So if you don't want to be spoiled by the show, or you don't want to find out anything, make sure you just stop now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into this. Because I've been wanting to ask you questions the whole time.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I actually finished it before Mike did. and I just kind of held it over his head.
I know. Since she already watched it, I was like texting her like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, and I'm just just wait for it, just wait for it.
I'm like, "What happened?" She's like, "I'm not telling you nothing."
Yeah,
I'm like, "Oh."
You asked me, "Oh, is this what happens?" And I'm like, "Do you really want to know?" And of course, the answer is no. He does not want to know.
But I want to know.
Yeah, it's
but
like
I don't want. But I want to.
You want to know by watching it. You don't want to know by somebody being like, "Oh yeah, this is so and so."
Yeah, there was so many things that's like you expected, and then it's like it just pulls it like right under you, and I'm like, what?
Most definitely. I'm a really avid reader, and so I like to believe that I can usually expect even like pretty big twists and turns. Generally, like I always expect that something's not right, and I guess I was very right about Dodge. I don't know if I really expected Dodge to be Lucas, though. That was the big thing.
Because you don't really find out that there's a key that actually makes you, that looks like somebody different
I mean,
towards the end.
They do reference it. And actually, because I think when Dodge is talking about keys, she says, "Oh, there are keys that can take you anywhere. There are keys that can change how you look."
Yeah.
But you don't think about that.
Yeah.
And especially, too, there's like this point in time when Ellie goes into the well house, and I think Bodhi does see her go into the well house with a key, and she leans over and is like, "Lucas?" And it never occurred to me. I thought like they were like all the dead friends were down there. That was my guess.
Yeah.
But that was absolutely not right.
Well, in the beginning, the well lady, aka Dodge, told what's the younger brother's name again?
Bodhi.
She tells Bodhi that there's a key where you can talk to the dead.
Yeah.
Remember? And she said it was the mirror key.
Yeah.
And it's like, just show your mom. And he was looking for his dad, and they went inside, and then the mom gets trapped.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it wasn't gonna be like a field of flowers or anything like that, but I did not expect it to be like an imprisonment key.
Yeah.
When that glass shattered, like my heart just like dropped.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
so
what is going on? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh no, the mom's like out. She's out of commission. She's never coming back.
I mean, even the reflection when she looked and it shows like them like telling them to come this way. Why would you even?
I know. Straight up, like I would have been like, all right, that's not right.
Yeah.
But even Bodhi knew that it was like not a good idea. But Nina saw it and was just like, oh, well, perfectly normal. I'm just gonna follow my reflection in.
Yeah. Nina's the mom.
Yeah, Nina is the mom. She's interesting.
Yeah, she was an interesting character for sure.
Yeah, I think that her struggle was also just like a really cool part of like what made her her. What made her Nina. Like her whole backstory about alcoholism. I feel like that's not something that's touched upon, at least not with female characters a lot.
Yeah.
Usually it's like the alcoholic, abusive dad, and there's usually not a lot of growth from that. But I think it was cool that they introduced her at a point in time where she was already sober and she was having like setbacks and struggling with her alcoholism, and that's a very real thing. And the detective that she eventually makes friends with, I loved what he said, like, worry about tomorrow, don't worry about next year. Yeah. It's a really big thing, like with addiction and things like that.
Yeah.
So
they definitely have a lot of good references, just for like people like in their daily life, that. And I think again, like that's what was so good about the show is you can relate to these characters.
Extremely.
It wasn't just like thrown at you and they're just like throwaway characters.
No.
It seemed like everyone was like important, even the small characters.
Yeah, I didn't realize how important like the cast of the movie would be. Like I really didn't expect that. Like I mean, I could see Gabe being important when he like stumbled in and was like, "Oh, what are you doing? Why is Eden doing exactly what you're commanding her to do?" I had a feeling that Eden would be like more important later on, but not to the extent that she ends up being. But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But like I think everyone had a really good place, and it made the series a lot more interesting. Even the characters that weren't important still added to it and helped illuminate other characters too. It made Scott more interesting, like his director and filmographer. I don't recall their names, but they had very small roles, but it still kind of just like illuminated the fact that Scott was like this really quirky guy.
Yeah. And
just loved film, and you need a crew, so might as well give him some cool friends.
Yeah.
Quirky friends, really, but.
And it's like, even the character development as you progress was so good too.
It really was. Everyone started so different than where they ended.
Yeah. So like, I think one of my favorite characters was the sister.
Oh, Kinsey.
Kinsey.
Yes.
I like, you know, like in the beginning, she was like this scared girl, quiet, didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then when they find the head key, she ends up killing her fear.
No, she doesn't kill it.
I mean, it shows her like dragging the she tries to kill it.
Yeah, but the reason I say it, we can't say it's dead. I think it's gonna play a big part in season 2.
Okay.
But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But
going into it, it's like she ends up. Go ahead.
She just takes out her fear, like literally just drags it out of her head.
Yeah, and buries it. I'm like, wow.
That's like the most literal metaphor ever.
Yeah, and it's like you just see her like transform into like this crazy girl, you know, like because she has no fear now because she took it out. So it's like she just does not care.
Yeah.
Like fearless, and I mean, and it's good in some cases, and then it's bad in some cases. It's like as that progresses.
But I like that they highlighted both sides of it, like the importance of not letting your fear get in the way of your decisions, but then at the same time also highlighting that, hey, it can make you really careless and really put your life at risk, at least in the context of this show, because literally it's all about you need to be a little afraid of the keys. Yeah. That's really how it should be. But yeah, I love the idea of like taking fear out, but also just like...
Or even to add things. You know when the brother... What was the brother's name?
Which one? Tyler? Or
Tyler.
Bobby?
The older brother, Tyler. He ends up liking this girl. Yeah. And the girl tells him, well, I like, you know, like London, and I like these poems. And what he does is he finds the books or information about it, and he puts it in his head.
Yeah,
and
he's too scared to go into his actual head. And then he can just, like, recite everything. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was just very funny, his attitude about it. He, like, just peeks the door, throws the book, and runs out. He's like, all right. Ask me something about Matheson. That was a cute scene, and I just think it was just really interesting. Like, you can just add things to your head or take things out. Yeah. And we got to see the experience of both, because I'm sure I was always really curious. Like, can you take things out? You know?
And that's what I like is like they explored, because again they don't know how these keys work. Yeah. So as they like progress, they're like trying new things and like trying to figure out and play around with it. You know. There was some keys that I wish that they would have played more with.
I hope they do in season 2.
You know? Like, for example, like, when Bodhi first uses the ghost key, which is the little brother.
Yeah, there was no use for the ghost key, I felt like, in the season.
But you know what? I feel like there was, because remember when he went into the cemetery and he saw his grandpa? Yeah. And his grandpa said, I've been here the whole time. Oh. I stayed behind. Yeah. And it's like, how come he never went back and, like, asked him things?
Yeah,
you know,
you
like,
would think, right?
Yeah, or it's like, who else is still here?
But I guess, okay, actually I take that back. I guess the use also had to pertain to Sam, because Sam, you know, the guy with the gun. Yeah. So, like, he
was the killer of the father.
Yes.
He was the gunman. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, like, I guess, you know, it was to be like, there was a real severed connection between his ghost and his body. So I wonder if that comes into play later on. Because
or at least,
or does he just disappear because he's
I think it leaves it open. I think it leaves it open to maybe he can even come back.
Yeah. Well, I
because all he has to do is the door. If that specific door is open, he can come back. I don't know if his body has to directly be right there.
I would think so.
Or he has to go through and then find his body. Or I wonder if you can even go into somebody else's body.
Ooh, that's a cool one. I would love to know that. That would be a
that would
cool
be crazy.
Power. But actually, what I think, and I mean, I know we're gonna talk a little bit more about season 2 thoughts. Yeah. But I actually think that that's gonna be something. Like, Sam's just gonna hang out on the property, and he's gonna be important. Things. Yeah, he's gonna be important later or something. Yeah. I feel like this kind of a series, like, you have to really pay attention to what's going on around you. Yeah. Because there's
just really, like so much possibilities.
Yeah, because there doesn't feel like there's a clear point of it in season 1. So if there's not a clear point at the point in time, maybe it becomes important later. Like, there were a lot of things in season 1 where you're like, well, that didn't make a lot of sense. It's just kind of floating there, and then it came to light towards the very end of the series. Yeah. So that's
why I'm saying, like, you gotta pay attention, because they'll throw you hints. And it might not be important at that time, but then it's like, hey guys, remember when we made this reference? Like, that's why.
Yeah, it's so insane. Yeah. Like, but it makes it cool, like, to kind of check out the Easter eggs. Like, I would really love to go back and watch it again, now that I know everything that happens, just to pick up on the little things that I missed.
Yeah, so. Or like, because I know like how the story plays out. Now it's like, I want to see like what's in the background.
The Easter eggs.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Most definitely.
Where were we at?
clues throughout the episodes. We were talking about the ghost key. Oh, exploring the keys more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to explore the keys more. Like,
was there another key that maybe you thought like, man, I wish like I knew more about?
I want to know what else they can do with that. What is the name of that key? The one that fixes anything that's broken. The cabinet.
Oh,
key.
the cabinet key.
Is that really what? Yeah, we'll refer to it.
Yeah, because
There wasn't a clear name for it, right?
So basically, the mom figures it out where she breaks a vase. Oh no, she breaks her cup.
So and it's
she
the
was
cup
drinking, and she broke her cup, and she got scared because the son came into the house, and I think she's trying to hide the fact that she's drinking again. So she ends up throwing the cup in the cabinet
and
lock it, and then she comes back and it's fixed. And then she started throwing like more things in there.
Yeah. Oh, the worst part, the part that really like just squeezed my heart so tight was when she took the ashes.
In the vase, of the father,
I was so emotional. I was like,
and then she put it in, and
then she started, because she's drinking and like just isn't like sober. She almost hallucinates and thinks that her husband's back, but it's her son. It's Tyler. And she's just so disappointed, and it just it hurts, like.
So I don't know if you caught it, but I caught it when I was watching it. Is you remember there was a mirror in the corner. In that room.
Which room? The study?
The study, yeah. It was like a long mirror.
Yes.
It was in the corner.
Yeah.
If you was to go back and rewatch that episode, when Tyler comes in, if you look at the reflection in the mirror, it's the dad. It's not his reflection.
Oh.
I don't know if you caught it.
No.
Yeah. So as he's walking by, it shows the side of his face, but it's the dad. It's not him.
Oh.
In the
wonder
mirror.
if that's an editing problem.
I don't know, or maybe it's just like a quick like Easter egg or something. Maybe the mirror could be something.
It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, the mirror already has the mirror key.
Yeah.
It's an imprisonment.
But it's like, I was kind of like curious about like when she put that vase in there, what was gonna happen.
Yeah, I wanted to believe it would work, but I was like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way, because I'm also like, I like anime, and so have you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist?
Yeah, I've seen a few.
But the premise is they're trying to reconstruct their mother.
Yeah.
And it was like a terrible accident. That's all I could think of when she put the jar in there. I was like, nope, she's gonna lose an arm and a leg. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
If it worked, that's what I'm convinced would have happened.
Or even the tree key. They didn't say a name, but it was a flower.
Yeah. The tree key. I mean, we know that it was like Duncan's memories that they like took out.
Duncan is the brother of the dad.
Yeah,
their
younger
uncle.
brother. Brother. And he's still alive and comes to periodically visit, and he has absolutely no recollection of his adolescence.
Yeah. But then you find out later on the show why they took his memories out.
Yeah, because,
which makes sense.
Yeah, totally. It was super traumatic. Like, nobody needs to see.
But watching it, like, in the beginning, you're like, what is going on with this guy?
Yeah, because he's just so, like, don't know, don't remember.
Yeah.
It's fine. Also, the thing about, like, I think it was just, one thing I would have liked a little bit more of is, like, understanding why only children could use the keys. Like... No,
the adults can. Remember the guy that set himself on fire?
They can't use the keys, but they don't remember the keys. The only reason that because the guy Mark who stabbed himself was one of the high school friends. Yeah. But only they remember.
Well, remember one of the friends, I forget the black lady's name. Ellie said they found a way to remember.
Yeah. But I want to know.
And they didn't elaborate on that, so I'm like,
I want to know.
How? But you know what one thing too was, how was the mom remembering? Remember when she was drinking, the kids were like, oh, she's drinking. That's probably why she could remember, but it's like...
That doesn't make sense,
It doesn't make sense.
But I guess maybe it's because, like, when you drink, it's like you're going... Like your brain isn't as functioning, like you're not a functioning adult, really. You know how, like...
It has nothing to do with age, though.
True, but then I wonder if it doesn't have to do with age and it has to do with mentality.
That's what I was thinking.
Like, something like maybe you have to have at least a slight belief in magic or something like that.
Yeah.
And adults just don't have the capacity to handle it.
Yeah, because you would think, like, us as adults, if someone tells you, like, a little kid tells you, oh, I saw, like, Bigfoot. Yeah. Us as adults is like, we know it's not real.
Yeah, we're like, absolutely not.
Maybe it has to do with imagination.
Could be.
You know, the
Okay.
concept of just like of accepting that maybe there is something more out there versus
Yeah.
like when we're sober, it's not real. It's like a
for
straight
sure.
line.
But then I think about like Tyler and Kinsey. At least Tyler, he's old enough to like not buy into that. You know, he's 17. I assume he's 17. Don't quote me. I could be wrong.
Well,
But
they're
he's-
in high
he's the
school.
oldest.
They're all in high school.
Yeah, and Kinsey is younger. So my thought was she's a sophomore, he's a senior. That's kind of the vibe that I got.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but either way, Tyler acts like the oldest, you know, kind of calls the shots. Hockey team. Well, doesn't really end up being on the hockey team, but you know.
Yeah.
That same kind of like jock personality. I took him to be like older, and like for the first like bit of the series, he was like, Bodhi, you're seeing things. Bodhi, it's not real. Da 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 da. So I wonder like there has to be more to it. I want to know more about like why that is. I want to know the history of the keys, how they were created.
Yeah. I'm curious about the keys too, like where they originated from, who made them, how do they have powers?
Yeah, and it's like even the great great grandfather of Bodhi.
Yeah.
Like even he was like, oh yeah, the keys, they've been with us for generations, and I'm like, so how far back did these keys date?
Yeah.
Like forever? Did they? I can't imagine.
And again, it's like it makes you think like, are there families, you know, are there family like sorcerers?
Yeah, it definitely
you know,
could be.
because magic does just not come from anywhere.
True, but then why don't the kids have the abilities without the keys?
Well, in the beginning, again, it's like it's confusing to me because in the beginning, the well lady or Dodge, you know, told the Echo, told what was it? I always forget his name.
Which Bodhi?
Bodhi.
Okay.
She told Bodhi that only certain people can hear the keys.
Yes.
Remember?
But I think I see what you're saying, like the Locks, the family. Yeah. And also they have that power.
And then it's like remember the brother and sister couldn't hear it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Only the little brother could.
I think too they weren't listening. Because it wasn't like a point that it was like you have to listen for the keys, and Bodhi only noticed after she had said something.
Okay.
Whereas like it was the same thing with Kinsey and Tyler. He's like listen for the voices, and it's when they're.
And then it makes me wonder like. Yeah. When you witness the magic of the keys is when you can actually like start using the keys.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to kind of know what they do. Well, but not necessarily.
Well, just to believe in the keys.
Yeah.
You know, because at first I thought, okay, maybe only the Locks can use the keys, and then other people were using the keys.
Yeah, I know. That's how I.
But then again, it's like, you know, even like the older friends had their own set of keys, so it's like no matter what, they always had that magic with them.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's the people that are exposed to the keys can use the keys.
I think so. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then again, they don't elaborate, so it's like it keeps you guessing on like how do they use the keys, or how come the Echo couldn't take the keys? She had to be given to her.
Yeah.
By the Locks only because she took the key from Sam.
Yeah, so I think that there's more to it. I think because it's like it's a Locke family thing, that maybe it has to do with it. Because I don't know. I'm very curious.
Yeah.
And I want them to elaborate more on like the backstory with everything, especially because I think it's a really cool concept, and there's so much story that we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Like I kind of want to read the comics just so I know what happens.
Or even like, you know, the whole storyline of the show is that Dodge is trying to get the Omega Key to open this door in this cave. And again, they don't even elaborate why she wants it so to get in there so bad. We still
don't know.
We still don't know.
We still have no idea. Like, is it just gonna like rule the world? Like, is that what we're coming to? Like, world domination?
But I mean, in the show, you find out that that's where she came from.
Yeah. So that's why I wonder. Maybe it's to free all of the.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's like her family or something in there, you know, and she wants to release them. Oh, I don't know. You never know.
Yeah.
Or friends, I don't know, you know, something. But there's something that she wants in there, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so curious on, like, what it is. Because, you know, at the end, they show you them opening the door and you see what's inside. But it's like...
But they don't give you any idea of what it is. It's just literally, like...
It looks like a black hole with, like, lights.
But see, so originally when they opened it, I was like, that's the bottom of the well.
Oh, okay.
But realistically, I don't think that's what it is. I think that would be a really long...
It looks like a whole nother universe.
It does.
When
like,
they
it
opened
could be like a gateway, definitely.
Yeah.
But I think one of my favorite parts was the fact that Eden got hit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that predictable, but I was like,
but there was like
fucking
no
knew
way
she
nobody
was gonna-
did not get hit. Like they make the whole scene to make it look like nobody got hit, but it's like I know somebody got hit.
Yeah, no, it was very, you know, with how fast it was going, it was bound to hit somebody. But I actually thought it would hit Gabe. That was my thought process. I was like, oh, it's gonna be either Gabe or Scott because that's Kinsey's love interest. And I will tell you, I had absolutely no idea. That just totally threw me for a loop when it ended up being Gabe was like somebody made by Dodge. Well,
Yeah.
whether or not like he was made the entire time.
That was like the mind-blowing moment.
That was
is the fact that you
biggest-
find out that Dodge is the kid.
But I wonder if it was like
Gabe.
at one point that she like, because I can't imagine it was like forever that she's been playing this kid. Like, you know, I feel like what happened was like this kid did exist and she took him out of existence and replaced herself. Or, you know, actually, I'm trying to remember what Gabe's backstory was because I think it was like he had moved to town. It was like a point because Scott was
he
saying
was
he
already
from
there.
AK.
Remember, because the very first time that she
Oh no! I mean, time as in like before Kinsey, but like
Yeah.
when Scott and all of like.
well, you're first
Before
introduced
time.
to him
Yeah.
when Kinsey goes to the filming
Yeah.
with Scott, and
Yeah,
he was
with
in the lobster suit.
Yeah.
But even then, they were like, "Hey, this is a new kid that just moved here."
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh okay.
That
oh,
like he
yeah.
just moved here because remember when they started getting close
That's
with each
right,
other,
that-
he's
there
like,
was a
"Oh, I just
backstory.
moved here."
Oh my god! Oh my god! So it really was Dodge the whole time.
Yeah,
Dang.
so it's like she must have like started it when they first moved there.
Yeah.
You know?
That makes sense. And honest, that does make sense. Because then she would want to try and get close. But yeah, that just totally blew my mind. I was so...
But then now I'm curious is the fact that now that at the end you find out that that was Dodge, Gabe was, Gabe was literally right there opening the door with them. I mean, she could have just like backhanded all of them, you know, and just did whatever she needed to do.
Yeah, but I think
But then there's a bigger, maybe there's a
I
bigger
think there's a
plot.
bigger mission, yeah. I think that it was also to free someone, so that way she'd have like an accomplice, you
Yeah,
know?
which she got.
Yeah. Oh,
Mind blown again.
But actually, I always thought Gabe was a little suspicious. Not because of, like, how do I say this? Not in the sense that I thought that Gabe was Dodge. There was absolutely no way to expect that. But I thought it was a little odd that he knew that, he kind of knew that Kinsey and Scott were a thing. Like, there's no way he couldn't have known. Everybody knew.
Yeah, but I mean, guys are just like that in general, you know?
I don't know.
There's always like that little like cat fight, like, oh, I like her too, but I like her.
Yeah, but it was just, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of against bro code.
But I mean, they never made anything official though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they
And he's just some new
right
kid
after.
from nowhere, you know? Like, we don't care about that.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I guess they're not. Yeah, if they just moved there. But still, I was just...
It ain't official unless they say it's official.
Well, either way, I still found it fishy, and I was still mildly
But you know what?
kind
At
of
the
like-
end, she could have picked Scott, but she ended up picking Gabe.
I know, I was like, why would you do that? But then again, like, I can understand, like, her thought process of, oh, well, you know, Gabe was there for me while Scott ran out. But then I'm also like, well, kind of what you did to Eden was not a very nice thing.
Yeah.
So, kind of lose-lose. Like, I didn't like that Gabe enabled her. I think that's also what I found suspicious. That, like, he was like, yeah.
He was always supportive of her.
Of her.
And I never-
supportive of her, like, doing stuff with the keys. Like, he was always about the, like, yeah, you know?
Yeah.
Super cool, yeah.
Right. Overall, that was pretty much like everything she wanted to
That's
do.
true, yeah.
You know, so he was always just like the guy, like, yeah, let's just do what she wants to do.
Yeah.
The whole time. But then again, it's not suspicious because you just think like, oh, this guy likes her.
That's fair. I just...
And I feel like they positioned him so well in the show because you're not worried about him. You're worried
really
about
not.
everything.
You're really not.
So it's like you're not even noticing it. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, he just likes her, but I'm worried about like what they're trying to do.
Yeah, even being like that, I thought he was a little suspicious. I would have never guessed.
It's like, okay, that's weird. But then it's like you're going on to focus more on like other stuff.
I thought that if anything, maybe he was like, he had like a run-in with Dodge or something like that.
Yeah.
Like maybe was like playing into the plan a little bit, but like that.
The fact that you just find out it's it's the Dodge.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and
wow.
I think it was interesting that Dodge took on a name. Because it's really just an echo or a demon, whatever it is. It doesn't have a name. It took on the nickname that Ellie gave to Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because Dodge was what she used to always call him. I remember, like, that being a thing. So I'm like, that thing doesn't technically have a name. So.
What makes you think that, you know, maybe when they absorb the person, maybe they absorb everything about
they
that
absorb
person.
the memories. I believe that wholly. Because there's no way that she would have known, or that Dodge would have known certain things as Lucas.
Yeah.
So I think definitely. Because even, like, when...
But it makes me wonder, are they still in there?
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Like, can you save them from the echo?
Yeah, I hope so, because I just want...
Like you said, if Gabe... Oh, no, Gabe can't be a real person.
No, Gabe is not a real person.
So now I'm
Neither
thinking...
is Dodge,
no, so now I'm thinking, who got hit? What was her name? Eden. I wonder if they can save Eden when they find out that the demon is in her.
Yeah. I feel like
or is that person just gone?
Yeah. I feel like they could save Eden. Like, have you seen Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of like Billy. You know, where, like, Billy, like, you think there's no saving him.
Yeah.
And even though he gets, like, he did at the end. Like, but he still, like, became himself for, like, that last little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could definitely see something like that happening here.
Okay.
Whether or not she sacrifices herself, that's a whole different story. Sorry, Stranger Things spoilers. But, yeah, I it's been out for almost a year.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys seen it.
Yeah, you guys have better seen it.
Sure
if
you're
all mad, not my fault. But, yeah... I think that it could be an interesting arc to go with, and especially I wonder. I think there wouldn't be a true way to save Lucas because Lucas is already dead. I mean, his body is dead. You know, Eden is still in her body. So I also want to know more about echoes. Like, we don't get to explore that key. We just know that it unlocks the well, and the well is what, you know, brings back the person.
Yeah.
And
see, because I was curious that once you find out that the echo key is the one that you can talk to dead people. I'm surprised that they didn't touch bases like trying to talk to the dad.
So I also was curious about that because then what if Bodhi broke into that well and just like, because he didn't need the key to get in. You know, he could just slide through. Everyone else couldn't, but Bodhi was small enough. But do you need the key?
I think so.
Maybe, but like the way that it looked with Ellie, I mean, she didn't need the key once it was open. Once she opened it, she was in there.
But remember when they first find the music box?
Yes.
And I always forget her name. Kinsey turns and opens the music box. And then she's like, you guys try. And they couldn't do it because she was the one that put the key in the box and turned it. She was the only one that can make people do things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then even remember when
true.
When Bodhi first finds the anywhere key.
Yeah.
He's like, where do you want to go?
Okay, but in fairness, there aren't doors on the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, that's true. That
was the point. Was that? Have you ever seen doors on the Eiffel Tower? I have actually never been to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Maybe there is. I could imagine.
No, that's true.
There could be a door, like an elevator door. Is that a thing?
Okay, no, that's... Okay, no. I think that's the only example I can think of because now that I remember
But yeah, the music box, that's a good example because it's a lock, you know? It's like a physical, you have to turn the key in the lock and then...
But I'm sure the anywhere key works because remember when Dodge takes the fire key from the little kid and she opens it to the subway station, she throws the kid in there.
Yep. Oh,
I was like, wow.
That, oh my god,
that was brutal.
Honestly, though, I saw that coming. I just didn't think he would die. I was kind of hoping...
it was a oncoming train.
Well, no, I know, but I thought I was hoping it wasn't that.
I thought she was just gonna just throw him like in a different place, but she like full on. It shows you him going into the train tracks.
I thought that it was just gonna be one of those things like he's on the train tracks and we don't see it, but then you see him get hit by that train. I was just like,
yeah. That's some horror stuff for you for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And that actually I wasn't sure what to expect because. Like,
and that's what I liked about the show is like they did not play it safe.
No, and it was very
for some
suspenseful.
scenes they did, but I mean they're letting you know like, yo, like this is some real deal stuff.
Yeah, it's very suspenseful, but it's not really like
gory
or I don't know. I wouldn't consider it like a horror. You know what I mean? Like a traditional kind of a horror. Like it's creepy.
Yeah.
It's creepy, but it's not like...
But I mean, it has monsters and stuff.
Yeah, but it's not gonna, like, keep me awake for the next 3 weeks like Us did.
I think it's a different type of horror. You know, not every horror is like a jump scare.
Yeah, well, totally. But I saw it more as like suspense and thriller.
Yeah,
that was more of.
I think it's the concepts that make it horror.
Yeah, I
you
guess
know,
that's true.
like becoming a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not like a traditional thing.
True,
you know?
true.
Or like bringing your fear out, and it's like this demon like walking everybody.
That was
you know,
creepy as hell. Like that part when her fear just like attacked Eden, I was just like.
Yeah.
But I think that fear is going to play... I mentioned this earlier. I think that fear is going to play a really big role later. Because it was very clear that Kinsey did not kill it. Neither did Eden.
No, it ran away. You see it run away, yeah.
So, I mean, I kept seeing... every time it would run away, I'm like, it's coming back.
Yeah.
It's going to do something. And so it made sense that it attacked Eden. But I was also just very surprised that, like, Eden became part of this. And when they added her in, I felt very like, this doesn't sound right. Now it's kind of right. Because she ended up being, well, turning into a demon.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You know, because we all need another one of those. Yeah, I guess possession is also a very horror thing. I guess it is kind of horror.
Yeah. For sure. I think just the concepts is what makes it into like a horror genre.
Definitely. It's very suspenseful. It's a good thriller. Like, it's Yeah. Very good.
It's
very
good. It's good. Okay, so let's go into like what we expect to see, hopefully in season 2.
Well, like I said, fear. I want to see that come back. I want to see what it's gonna do, and if Kinsey eventually does truly kill it, or if she lets it back in her head. I think the smart thing would be
a cool concept is that they find out that the demon's in there, and they use the head key somehow to unlock it. Go in her head, and then like the demon is like lurking in there, and they kill the demon.
But I feel like that.
But then again, you can't kill an echo. They said there's a certain way to kill an echo.
Yeah, well, the echo is because it's not really like a worldly thing. So I think it's kind of the same case with the fear. Fear is not like a conventional human. It's a personification of an emotion. So does it really apply?
But they said in your head it takes a form.
It takes a form, but then just because it takes a form as a person, does it still work in the same conventional way? Does it really have a true brain? Because it really only operates on fear. So
yeah.
I wonder if that's because it can't I would assume it doesn't have memories. It doesn't have like a fully like. I don't think there's a world to it, but I mean it could be possessed by something. But I think that's really like. I like how they personify it. I don't think it has anything to do with the fear being possessed. I think it's just the fact that fear, especially if you have anxiety, like, that's a really good personification of it. Because that's really how it feels. Like, it can just tear you to shreds. And I thought that was actually just super cool. I loved that.
What I would like to see, too, is, because in this first season, you know, the kids are just barely learning about like what the keys do, and they're not that strong yet.
They're not.
So I would like to see them like actually become like what do they call them, like the keepers, the keepers of the keys. You know, and they become like these warriors. Yeah, that's what I would like to see.
I think that would be a cool concept for sure. But I feel like it might go a similar route to how the high school friends were when they were the keepers. They weren't really truly warriors, and I feel like it would kind of not ruin the concept, but it would change the concept a lot, because what makes the characters so great is that they're normal people and they're relatable. If we turn them into warriors, I wonder if that's going to take that quality.
But they didn't have to be, because they killed Lucas. So there was no Echo in their time.
Yeah.
They knew that he was possessed, and they got rid of it for the time, but they knew that
and then Ellie
this
brought
Echo
it back.
Exactly. So they didn't need to be warriors.
That's true.
Now we have 2 Echoes.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So it's like now I would like to see them like become like these stronger people with the keys.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I felt like throughout the show they were like losing them like left and right, and it's like first they have all the keys, they're not really doing anything with them, then they lose all the keys, and it's like
and they keep getting tricked.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can't blame Bodhi, who's like what 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to manipulate children, and it hurts though to watch. It's like, don't do it, but then he does it, and you are surprised for some reason, even though you know children do dumb things sometimes. It'll be cool to see them get a little bit older.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Stranger Things in that way. Like, I love watching, like,
there were just kids in the beginning of the show, and then towards, like, the end of, like, season, was 4? 3. They're strong, they're, like, stronger together now.
Yeah. And so I think that could be a really cool concept to see. And I guess utilizing the keys a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like, that would be a cool concept to see. I want to see more backstory. Like, I love backstory.
I feel like they can do a lot with the skeleton key, like I was saying earlier, to go back and see, like, who's found, like, if their family still remains, and, like, talk to them and just, like, what have you seen throughout the years, you know?
I feel like...
Because I feel like they're spectating. They can't, like, interact with us, but they definitely are there watching everything.
Yeah. As I said, I think Sam is going to play a part in season 2
I think so, too.
I mean, hopefully we get more seasons.
Also, Dodge did not kill the ex-girlfriend, so she's still alive.
Oh, Vazi.
So
I want to know why
to let her out, because remember she's trying to get out.
I want to know how that happened. Like, who pushed her in there? Like,
I think she did it. I don't know if she could do it to herself.
She couldn't.
She couldn't have. Way. So yeah, I'm curious too, but I want to know what knowledge she has, because she was there from the beginning and she's still alive.
Yeah, but I honestly don't think she has a lot more than just where the key is, because that was the whole thing. Like,
yeah, but there was that whole backstory of them using the keys all those years.
Yeah, but then if they stopped using the keys after 18, or at some point in time, at what point was Fosse thrown into her own head? You know, has it been since she was 18, or like? That's
what I'm saying. We don't know.
Yeah.
So just to see what she knows.
That's true. I would love to see like what her story is, like how she got locked in there. That's so terrifying.
Yeah.
And I want to know like what she knows about the dad, since we'll never know him as a character.
Because it's always just a mystery, because throughout the whole show, the mom is just like, he never talked about his upbringing.
Yeah, but in fairness though, like, he killed one of his friends, even though it was possessed by a demon, like.
Or I would like to see them restore the uncle's memories back.
That would be cool. I wonder if that's even like a possibility.
Why not? You just throw it back in his head.
Yeah, but they're he watched it and he couldn't process it.
But it's not in his head, it's in the jar.
Yeah, but that's true. But I wonder how that works. Like, do you just take it out and let it go free and then it comes back? I don't know.
Or everything's organized. So what if they was just to put it back like somewhere?
Yeah. Oh, I just had the realization.
Just like the books, he just threw it in and then
that's
he knew.
What it is. Oh my god! I just realized this. Okay, so what they did is they went into his head, took the memories out, and then stuck them in the fear. I totally didn't think about that. I thought it was. I don't know what I thought. That just occurred to me.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just put it back in his head.
Just put it back in his head.
Yeah.
And then he's like normal again. And maybe he becomes like a keeper too now of the keys.
Or something. I want to see like what role he could play. I don't think he would be a keeper.
You never know.
True. You are definitely right. And with this series, I will never expect or know.
And that's what I love about it.
Yeah. But I think that he'll have a greater role to play. I don't think that... Because I don't think he could be a keeper. Even if you restore the memories, I think it's still like the flawed memories in which he only saw his brother kill Lucas, not that Lucas was a demon.
Not even, but when they're looking in the jars, they find out that the sister finds out that there is a door in the cave from the jar. So he was always around.
That's true.
We don't know how much around he was.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. Yeah, I didn't even realize. I forgot about the door.
And even going back to when the little brother uses the key as a ghost to go see the grandpa.
Yeah.
He specifically said his dad and the brother enjoyed playing with the keys.
That's true. That's right. Oh yeah, they both loved playing with those keys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if he has.
And that's why he asks the uncle, "Do you remember about the keys?" And he's like, "What keys?" But I mean, at the same time, it's like,
is it the
what does he know?
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, I wonder if, because they only have a way to remember. So even if they threw those memories back in his head, would they disappear? Because that's not really explained with Nina either. You know, the mom. Like, she just doesn't remember, even though there's no reason she wouldn't remember.
But I feel like at one point in time he was exposed to the keys.
That's true.
So, He might be able to.
He could.
It's like it leaves so much possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. And I'm not a patient person. So
Yeah, I just want it right now.
I want to know, man.
Is there anything that you wish to expect in season 2?
I think I've hashed that
Okay.
a lot out. I mean, fear, backstory,
Yeah.
Vasi, all of them.
I just want them to come together as like an army and just like kill all these like demons.
I want to see all of the keys. I want to know what every key does.
Yeah.
I want to see what they end up being useful for. Because we didn't get a lot of the cabinet key.
Yeah.
We didn't get a lot of the cabinet
Well, there's actually
key.
keys from the comic book that they didn't even show us yet.
Right.
So I hope they bring those. So when I was doing
Yeah.
research, there's actually a key that makes you grow into a giant and it makes you shrink.
That's cool. Oh, that would be so much
There's
fun.
a key called the Hercules key that gives you
Super strength?
super strength.
Okay, so they really could become warriors.
They can.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a lot more keys out there. So
that would be so
if they
cool.
can if they're just introducing more and more keys, even if it's not in the comic book, and they just introduce like new concept of keys.
Yeah, it would be more interesting because, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's still some hidden in the house.
Yeah, or somewhere.
Definitely could be because if, the other, the ones that they kept.
Because it would be interesting that we only know that the Locke family had the keys, but we don't know if the Locke family back then had a group of friends who were key keepers maybe back then, and maybe those friends, drifted but took keys with them.
That's true, or something in that realm.
In that realm, yeah. You just never know. So much possibilities.
Yeah. Did Aaron Voss, I think is the psych patient.
Yeah.
Did she... I didn't pay enough attention and I want to rewatch it, but when they divided up the keys?
Yes.
What keys did she have? That's what I want to know.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I don't know.
Because then, do we know what those keys are? Because we know the identity key and the echo key were given to Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Rendell had the Omega key. We knew... Who are the others?
No, and the mind key. Because remember, they said that
Rendell had the mind key.
Rendell and his ex-girlfriend went into his brain together.
Yeah.
And put the key in his head.
That's right. Oh, and then Mark hid the rest.
Yeah,
And
he's the
he
one
only
that
kept
kills
the
himself
ember.
in the beginning.
He only kept the ember, and then he was the one to hide the most of them because he
and
was
that's
the
why
most
he killed.
responsible one.
And that's why he killed himself, because he didn't want Dodge to find where the keys were or whatever they thought was going to come. It's a really great show.
Bodhi did the work for it.
Yeah. It was a great show.
It was really good. I am so excited to see what comes. I don't know if they've confirmed a season 2 yet.
I don't think so yet.
I don't think they confirm anything until probably like about a month out.
Yeah.
Once the hype.
It's still fairly new. It only came out on the 7th of this month.
Oh, really? Okay,
So it's still fairly
been,
new.
Yeah, 6 days.
Yeah.
Since filming this.
Yeah.
So,
Since the show came out, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very, very excited to see what comes. I hope they continue it. I think
Me
it
too.
would be...
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities. Hey, what's going on? This is Mike from MetaHuman Entertainment. For anything TV, geek, news, or movies, like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a video.